What up? Uncle Benji here. Welcome back to the channel. We got a really special video here for you today. This is a really important one to me, and it kind of came out all of a sudden after an email that Backwoods Studios, my favorite label, sent out about a week or so ago. And they announced they're doing a re-release, a Dolby Atmos version of a Willie Green album from back in 2016 called Doc Savage. I had showed this CD when I went through the Backwoods CD collection, but one thing in this email when they're talking about the Dolby Atmos re-release of this album, which has all Willie Green beats and a lot of great MCs and talents on it, they also put in that email that they're paying tribute to Junclassic, who is a rapper and producer that was on that album and worked a lot with Backwoods, has ties to them going all the way back to the early Backwoods days when Woods was working with artists from MIC, Monster Island Czars. Junclassic was involved with that collective, became friends with Woods. Early on, also became a Ka fan. And you see here, I have a Ka album, Martyr's Reward. And we're gonna talk about some Ka albums, but I'm gonna tell you first how Junclassic comes into this story, because he was a guy that I'd always known through Twitter, liked his music, collaborations with Backwoods. But when I went out in 2022 to see the Aethiopes release show in New York, I got to meet Jun along with a lot of other artists and people out there. And he was a great guy, and everyone I met had kind words to say about him. As an older guy in this scene that still absolutely loves it, he was at that time had already showed up to Ka pop-up. I was just out and about at all the events in New York, so it was really cool to chop it up with him when I went out there. Little did I know, during this time when I was out at that show, I was dealing with cancer and didn't even know it. I didn't get diagnosed until later that year in 2022, and then all of 2023 I was going through that battle. And in 2023, later in the year, Ka decided to do a pop-up to release 3 albums on vinyl. This album right here, as well as Woeful Studies and Languish Arts. All of these were being released at the same time, pop-up only. I'd been to New York in 2022. I would love to be able to go to New York more. I'm working on that now in my life, to be able to get out there more, because I love going out there so much. But obviously in that time, 2023, what I was going through, there's no way I could make it out to that Ka pop-up. There was no way I was going to acquire these 3 albums unless I paid serious aftermarket cost for them, which could have been, I think it was like $500 that these records were going for on average. Jun, being the nice guy, incredibly nice guy that he was, put a little call out on Twitter to say he was going to the pop-up, and if anybody wanted anything, he'd consider picking up some requests. Like, who does that? You know, you're gonna have to stand in this long line, and now you're offering to get stuff for other people. So we followed each other, and I DM'd him. Didn't even really tell him what I was going through, but just said like, hey, I would love it if you could do that for me. I would tip you, I would pay for shipping, I would do anything, pay on top of value, anything I could, if you can get those albums for me. And Jun agreed to do it. Couldn't believe it, but what a blessing that was. And talked to him more to figure out the logistics, how much I was gonna send for him, when the pop-up was. Pop-up day came, and I was excited as could be, and eventually heard back from Jun within, a couple days. Maybe it was that day, I don't remember. But he got me all 3 of the records, and not only did he get these records, he got them all signed, as you can see. Just amazing for me to be able to get these records, because at this time, these were the first records that Ka had done pop-up only. He'd always done pop-ups for his album releases, but they'd been available online so that I could buy them. If you just got there early, you could get Yenlo and some of these other albums just by being there. But when these released, it was pop-up only, and that was it. So, I believe even on that day, he was standing in line in the rain. Like, it was hours of standing in line to go through that, to get that for me. And This is so special for me now making this video because I said Backwoods is paying tribute to Jun because he just passed away within the last couple years, and Ka as well. So this was fall of 2023 when Ka was at the pop-up and Jun got these records and took pictures with him and got it autographed, and here we are almost 3 years later and both of them are gone. So it's really emotional for me to listen to these albums, to think about the relationship that I formed with Jun. Ended up getting this record that Jun shipped out to me, so I have a piece of vinyl from Junclassic that I really cherish because he was such an important figure in the underground scene and a real inspiration to me, you know, as someone that's not actively making art. Jun made art, made raps, made albums, made beats, but he also was a consummate supporter of the art and showed up and really paid tribute to the greats. And that's always what I'm trying to do in this, is to find the artists that resonate with me and make sure that they get their flowers while they're here and they understand how valuable they are to me. But now that I've given you a little backstory on how I acquired these records, I am going to talk a little bit about the records and Ka's words because they're so important to me. And these are some albums that I think sometimes get a little overlooked in his catalog. The fact that they all three dropped on vinyl at the same time, I don't know if listeners gave them the full attention. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. This album, A Martyr's Reward, came out originally in 2021, the digital version. So while all three of these were released in 2023, this one came out in 2021 in August, and the other two came out in September of 2022. So the other two were dropped at the same time. This one came first. Of the three, I would say this one is probably my favorite. They're all very high quality. They're largely produced by Ka. I think every album has maybe 2 beats from another producer or 2, and the rest are all Ka beats. You know, a couple features throughout. I think Navy Blue's on this one. Chuck Strangers has a couple features on the other ones. But yeah, we're going to go through a little bit some of the songs on here and talk about some of the lyrics that Ka has that really blow my mind throughout these albums. So starting off again with A Martyr's Reward, we're going to go through some of the songs here and point out some lines that really resonate with me, and I hope it gets you to want to listen even more and find lines in here that resonate with you, because you can literally go line for line in Ka's records and find lines that stands out to you. These are just the ones that really hit for me. We got on the song Everybody Up. I've tweeted this lyric out recently and it's gotten a lot of love on Twitter. Not a sex villain, raised to respect women, no is no. It's easy to say something like that, but you don't hear a lot of rappers putting it that eloquently. You know, you don't hear a lot of people that are consistently standing up on their morals like Ka is. And it's a really important message. Like some things that have been going on in the underground right now and in certain communities and scenes, a lot of people need to hear this message, and we need to stand up for women, and we need to be aware of what is going on around us and keep our eyes open and call people out when we see it. And Ka was never afraid to do that. We got a song, I Need All That, which is just a great song about everything that's been copied and stolen, culturally appropriated from Black Americans, and Ka saying he needs all that back, you know. And it's not just about like reparations. This is all of the elements of just being a human that gets borrowed and co-opted, and then you get left in the dust. Peace, peace, peace. Another great song on here. Ka has the line, when I bring out the drums, it's a whole production, which is, you know, those double entendres that Ka gives you, talking about the drums as in guns. But I love it from the angle, bring out the drums, take the drums out of the track like Ka does, but you still got a whole production. And that's just really slick wordplay on that you always get from Ka with these lines. You got a song, Sad to Say, has a couple lines that are crazy to me. My brothers is not blood, they brothers because they bled with me. Just, you know, very simple, but that kind of wordplay that Ka gives you. I do the gritty witty for the sake of the witness. Just simple and fantastic. I Notice has another line that I love on here that's just crazy. Cops got us under a microscope to make sure we see cells. With All My Heart, he's got a line, no lesson is clandestine, all these ancestors I'm channeling. He also says, I knew I was black back then at 10, so I had tenacity. Oh, just crazy, crazy wordplay from Ka. And it really also painting pictures of his life, how he grew up, you know, so it's all like so rich. Like you could hear some of his similes and wordplay and think, like that's just kind of corny or basic. But when you tie it in with his personal story and how he does that, it really elevates all the type of wordplay that he puts into his songs. The album closes out with Having Nothing Gave Me Everything. Just that hook, like repeated, really powerful stuff that Ka is giving you on this album. The production is amazing throughout. It has a great navy blue feature on We Living, Martyr. Just a fabulous album here, Martyr's Reward, one of his most underrated in my opinion. And then we move on to the next album we're going to talk about. And that's Woeful Studies. Obviously, like we've talked about, these two albums kind of being a tandem theme. You can see the theme of school and youth from the pictures that we got here. But again, we're going to go through some of the lines on this one. We Not Innocent has a line, being green with envy, every thought was jaded. Beautiful. Great song on here, Obstacles, has another line that I've tweeted out on Twitter recently. Lack of possessions made me possessed. As far as talking about the worst, I may be the best. Just vintage Ka right there, classic. That's, you know, that's what you get from Ka. Counted On is a great song that has a great feature from Chuck Strangers. That one is produced by Animas, so one of the couple on here that's not produced by Ka. Eat is one of my favorite songs, probably my favorite on this album. It's really just incredible writing and rapping throughout. My favorite line on there, ain't no frontin' in my background. You listen to lies, no surprise, you despise how facts sound. The Block, the weak eat their heart out, I never bite my lip. Another song, Building, one of Ka's best and most interesting beats. Just fabulous stuff throughout this. These are shorter albums, you know, they only have like 10 tracks on them. But, you know, he gave us these both albums at the same time. And the production is really great on both of these albums. In my opinion, some of Ka's best production on these albums. Now we talk a little bit about this one, Languish Arts, which between the two of those, probably prefer this one a little bit. Has some incredible songs on here. Ascension, one of the best songs on the album, has one of my favorite lines on the album. I believe they call it Father because you're supposed to get past that. I mean, that's like really incredible writing right there. You know, really, really incredible writing. I believe they call it Father because you're supposed to get past that. Man, just really great stuff. And we got No Reservations. There's great lines about police, corrupt and complicit. That's all cops. That's an exact fact they can't face. Thought the whole crew was vegan, how they plant-based. Just, you know, really beautiful stuff. There's a lot of lines about cops throughout these growing up. You know, you got two different sides. You're dealing with the streets. It's got issues there, issues with the cops, but there's a lot of childhood throughout all of Ka's works. It's just so evident there how impactful it was growing up in New York and the environment that he grew up in. Forgive has another one of my favorite lines on the whole project that I've tweeted out again recently. Some like how I talk, but I'm a better listener. I live in these bars, might be hard to find a better prisoner. Unindulged, Animas beat, has another fabulous line about police. Never called police one time. Knew they never gave no second chances. Just great wordplay there. You know, it's like one of those lines that how have I not heard someone write that line before? It just takes thought. It takes a lot to come up with these lines. You know, I'm sure there's times where Ka's pen was just flowing and they're coming out of him, but you can just tell with Ka when you listen to his works how much he puts into it, how much of a perfectionist he is with getting every line to fit perfectly and have that level of meaning that is more than just what's on the page. Touché, another fabulous couplet that I've tweeted out on Twitter. Tired of black kids bending over backwards, living in limbos. Got a lot of layers is how I made it through winter in them thin clothes. Just beautiful stuff. Again, just mining his childhood for these gems. Trying to show you how crazy it is that what he came out of to become the man he was, the artist that he is, to leave the legacy that he's left. It's all right there in his lyrics, and he produces all of it. It's just amazing. Family Color, a great song on here. Was never scared to go for broke, was already poor. And then we got Last Place. The last line I'm going to quote on here. I'm not dense. I know trying to make sense don't make dollars stack, but I insist like a dying wish the best gift you can give a child is fact. Man, really appropriate to end with that one, with what I've talked about with Ka, talking about his childhood, with the themes of these albums. That is a dying wish. Best gift you can give a child is fact. Then this man is gone a couple years later. But that is what he's trying to give. That is what throughout all of his catalog is facts of how he grew up, of what he faced, of how he came through adversity, of what this country and the systems in place put him through, put his family through, put his friends through, his homies. How hard it is to come out of that. How he's so rare coming from that environment. That is what it's about with Ka. And, you know, I wish I could get out there for the pop-up he's having in August, where they're going to talk about him, release a lot more vinyl so more people that couldn't get their hands on several of his records can. I know a lot of it's going to be available online. I'm lucky that I don't need to buy anymore because I have the whole Ka collection. It's one of those artists where I don't listen to his music as probably as much as I appreciate it, because I need to be in the right mood, in the right setting to really honor it. I need to be able to fully listen to give him my attention. And you know, if you know me, how active a listener I am, but listening to Ka is different. It's a whole different thing. And I really hope that if you're not into Ka, or if you're not as into Ka as a lot of super fans out there, that you give his whole catalog, you find a way to give it the listens it deserves, because it's going to enrich all the other art that you listen to. The impact that this person had, the standard that he held himself to, is so inspiring to anybody not just making art, covering art, talking about art, trying to get the best out of your life. And we're not even talking about what this man did as his day job. So people like Ka, people like Junclassic are so valuable to me. And while they're not here, I'll be listening to their music and telling these stories forever, making sure that people don't just hear the music, but know the details around it, know how much it meant to the people that were there while it was happening. I'm gonna stop rambling now about Ka, but again, like I said, this is a special video for me. It's the second video I've made about Ka. It took a while before I made the first one, but there's gonna be more, because every album he's released is very, very important to me and special, and is something that I can talk about each one for a long time. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope some of the lines I highlighted made you want to go back and listen to these albums. And I hope the history of how I was able to acquire them. And Junclassic, I mean, we shared stories in the DMs about stuff our families was going through. Like when I had beat cancer, was cancer-free, I was telling him his dad had just beat cancer, was cancer-free. So we rejoice about that. He was taking his health seriously. So it just rips me up that these guys are gone, and I won't be able to see Jun when I go out to New York shows, to see backwoods shows out there, that I won't ever be able to see Ka at a pop-up. It's hard, but we have the music, you know, so listen to some of Junclassic's music, seek it out, listen to these Ka albums. Find friends out there in this community, because there's a lot of great people. It's hard to be better than these two gentlemen, but hopefully they can make you want to hold up to a higher standard and really show your passion and help uplift some of the amazing artists that we still have out here doing their thing. So that's it for today, y'all. Uncle Benji, peace out. Till next time.